Oh, there we go. I think it worked this time. Hey, so good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful, if a little cloudy Saturday morning here in Chicago. I am looking outside of my window right in front of us, and you can see that generally gives the best lighting in the house, honestly. So that's why we are here. I am happy to see so many of you already here and waiting. Thank you so much for allowing us to get through those little technical issues. If you've been here for any expanse of time, then you already know that I am just not very great when it comes to technical issues and live streaming. So cheers to that. Also, how do you take your coffee? Let me know in the comments chat box, and we will start there.
I need 3 more coffees.
Oh yes, by the way, Lawrence is here with us. He is
Hello.
Right over there.
Yes, I am. I'm barely here, I must say that. I'm barely here.
And the cat is somewhere. He was just here rubbing himself up against my leg. So if he comes to say hello again, then I will show him to you, if you will allow me at least. Let's get into this. Get ready with me, shall we? So this is about the time that I get ready every single morning, somewhere around between 8 and 9. And you can see I've already washed my face. I have also brushed my teeth, and I used this day cream from Besame, and it is magical stuff. I will talk more about that in a future video, but it's already on my face, so I'm not going to do that right now. I just wanted to show it to you because the pot is beautiful. Tell me some comments, Lawrence, as we get underway here.
Yeah, so kind of like me, Foxtrot likes their coffee straight up black.
I like it black sometimes too. Today, though, I am actually having a caramel latte that I made myself with homemade caramel sauce. Thank you very much. Because it is really close to fall and I just can't resist it. I'm sorry. But it is a reduced sugar one, so I don't know. If you're interested in that recipe, then just let me know in the chat box. Of course, as always, I will always read your messages, even if I don't get to reply to them specifically. If, I miss something in the chat itself, then please don't at me. I promise I will at least read and take in everything that you guys say. But I did leave a question up in that chat box, and that was, how did your week go? So if you haven't answered that yet, please let me know. Our week was really busy, don't you think?
I do think, yeah. Well, busy celebrating you. And on that note, Chris says, so proud of you for 10,000, just as I am. And just as the cat is.
Thank you all. So I'm absolutely floored. I did not expect to get to 10,000 subscribers this quickly. So I am really, really happy with our progress, especially since I have not really, in my opinion at least, done my half of the deal, which is to put those videos out consistently. This summer, I absolutely dropped the ball, and I am so, so sorry for that. But that said, I have a great many videos that A, I have filmed, and B, I have planned for your fall and winter and hopefully early spring enjoyment already. So be staying tuned for that. Now, I am mostly doing almost exactly the same thing that I did in my video that came out earlier this week, starting with a little bit of some Make No Mistake by Sephora. You can see it right there. Oh, shoot. And now it is all over my dress as well, because that is the kind of morning we have had.
I mean, this is an authentic getting ready with Tara experience, I'd say.
I guess so. Nobody said that I wasn't the most ridiculous person on earth when it comes to just throwing things around first thing in the morning. But I am putting basically just a little bit of, not foundation, but I use it kind of as a foundation more and more so, because especially in the summer, while I am prone to breakouts, my skin is not as dry as it would be in the winter. And so all I need is to cover those blemishes just a little bit, generally speaking. So while I love the Kat Von D, I don't really use it in the summer as much. I do sometimes, but not as much. And I just stick to the concealer. And here we go. So I'm just rubbing that in with my fingers I do have a beauty blender as well, but I find that with concealer at least, fingers are the best tool because then you can really get into the teeny tiny creases, whereas a beauty blender is more like for overall coverage, if that makes sense. So it's better for things like contouring and for foundation and that sort of thing. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I am almost done with that part. I wanted to talk while I'm getting ready this morning about my goals, because at the very beginning of this year, I made a video about how to achieve your goals. And I thought maybe right now would be a good time to reflect on that because, again, we've hit 10,000 subscribers a lot quicker than I anticipated, which is really exciting. So some things have actually changed in that time. I'm very excited about some of this stuff. I'm also a little bit scared about some of the stuff, and I wanted to share both of those things with you. So let's get into the first one, which is, I know you all know that we have moved twice in the last year. I'm not going to get into any specific details about why that is the case, except you can see this space right here. And one of the goals that I had before we moved into our last space was to have a place where I could basically do the things that I needed to do. And in our last place, even though it was bigger and that achieved that goal for me, it was not big enough to be able to do like some of the sewing projects that I wanted to do, or to get some of the angled shots that I wanted to do on specific types of videos. And so when we decided to move here, then it made a lot more sense because this specific studio space for me is a lot bigger and it helps me to function a lot more succinctly, I guess, than I was able to in the last space. So I am very grateful that that has happened. But that said, that was never my goal. My goal is actually, now that we've had a bigger space, to own a home. Right, Lawrence?
Absolutely.
And I said in the video that, you know, my philosophy on a lot of these goal things has changed quite a lot. And the biggest change that I have had in the last couple of years with the pandemic is I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions anymore. I think it can sometimes take a lifetime to achieve certain goals, and that's okay because we're all on this crazy journey together, right? So I'm not too concerned if that doesn't happen in the next year. And in fact, I expect with that specific goal that it's not going to happen in the next year because for one, we have this specific apartment for over a year from now. We signed a multi-year lease. So right now we're actually in the very, very beginning of those planning stages. And we also are only just starting to kind of save for the first time ever to do that. Because fun fact, when Lawrence and I were younger, the last thing on earth that we wanted to do was own a home. And that was really very much the same for both of us. We wanted to kind of travel the world, and I kind of still do want to do that. But home ownership was just not on my mind at all. Oh, before I get rid of that, you'll want to know that I'm still using my Kiko Milano because it is the best concealer on earth. And if you want any of the links to any of these products, by the way, they are in my last video, but I will link them underneath this video too after we have finished with the stream. So just so that you are aware of that. I believe I saw a donation. Is that right?
Yep, shout out to Mandy. Thank you for that. And Mandy congratulates you on hitting 10,000 subs.
Thank you so much, Mandy. And she has been around for quite a while as well. I know probably a fair few of you have. If you were kind enough to get up this early in the morning, then you've probably been around for a while. But if you are brand new, then welcome to the chaos that is my ridiculous YouTube channel, where I just kind of do whatever the heck I want, basically. At this point, when I get the time. So on that note, actually, you know, I dropped the ball on weekly YouTube videos, you probably know a little bit about why if you follow both myself and Lawrence on his channel. But if not, that's okay. I thought I might enlighten you that we have been doing a ton of traveling around the United States this year, and that's going to keep on happening as time progresses, which is very exciting. And we most recently, of course, went camping. And so you may have seen the camping video that we produced on his channel together. But there are going to be other vlogs that are specifically, traveling videos that I have come up with on my own over here too. So stay tuned for all of that. And I just blended, you could see my beauty blender over there, the contours of my face. And now all of a sudden, I don't have as much of a double chin. It's still there, right? But it's not as extreme as it was a moment ago. So that's always nice. And the next part of this is I'm going to shape my brows now. So I do very little brow shaping. I have so little brow to work with and always have. So fun fact about me, I have so much hair all over my body. Like I have to shave in weird places because of it. And if that's TMI, then I am very sorry. I hope you spit out your coffee just now. But the one place where I don't is here on my eyebrows. Who knows why? It's a very bizarre thing. So I am shaping what I got, but it's not a lot. And then I'm going to go in with this eyebrow pencil and I'm just going to fill out a little bit of this right here. Oh, well, it just broke. So JK, there we go. That's a little better. And if you see me looking down, it's because I realized that the camera is here, but I have a very nice mirror right here in front of me with all of your comments right next to it that I didn't even know existed prior to this specific live stream. Because one of the biggest problems I've ever had with live streaming is every time I try to stream something, my computer is like 1,000 miles away from me. So it's kind of nice to have the computer right here where I can see myself for perhaps the first time ever. Not in real time either. So if I get this wrong, I'm sorry. But it does work out a little bit better than I've been trying to do this in the past. So just a little light shaping. And then after that, we're going to go into eye look. And when I'm just out and about, which we have some fun plans today. Am I allowed to share what our plans are today?
Oh, I can't stop you.
So the whisker reel, which of course is our silly cat Kafka's channel, might have a new addition to the family in the coming days. Maybe. We don't know yet. But today we are going to meet some animales. And I am excited.
That's animals.
Yeah, I just used 3 languages in this sentence.
Do you need more coffee?
Yeah.
Or have you had too much?
I did drink that coffee really, really quickly. So I'm still shaping this. It's not going as well. So you know how every face is not quite symmetrical. So in my case, this eyebrow is a lot less shapely than this one is. And so I always have more trouble with this eyebrow and this eyelash whenever I'm doing makeup than I do the other one. And I will sometimes acknowledge that by doing the harder one first so that I can just match up the easier one to it. But I did not do that this morning because, like I said, it's chaotic today around here. So apologies in advance for that, but really not so much because, that's life, right? We all have our own little chaos. And this morning, for me, that's my eyebrows, apparently. Oh, gross. They are not shaping very well at all. That's okay. Okay, there we go. That's a little better.
So Dan says, congratulations on hitting 10,000. I love watching your travels on Lawrence's channel. Glad you had the time to stop in my home state for a pit stop, Delaware.
Yay! Delaware was so beautiful. I honestly, we did not expect that we would be driving through it, so it was just a very last minute stop. But I gotta say, I want to go back because it's so pretty, like so many I love trees just in general. So it was just so nice to like drive through so many trees, like, so good. And especially I bet it like this time of year and slightly after with all the fall leaves and everything, I bet it's just amazing.
Dandelion Light says, you are so pretty. Referring to you, not me.
I mean, you're pretty too.
Well, yeah.
Oh man. Okay. So eyebrows are as shaped as they're going to be today. I am not going to bother with eyelash makeup or eyelash. These are my eyelashes. Oh my gosh. Eyelid makeup. I'm sorry. Today, because when I'm out and about, that's what I was going to say before the Delaware stuff. So thank you. Yeah, when I'm just out and about and I'm not doing a specific look, then I don't concentrate very much on my eyelids at all. It has to be a specific look for me. Otherwise, I just skip that part. But I am going to go ahead and line them so that they don't look completely tired today. And I am going in with a L'Oreal liner. And it is my favorite liquid liner of choice recently, to the extent that I like bought out the entire Amazon stock of it. So I'm sorry for that if you are trying to get that link. I'm joking. There's, I'm sure, plenty available. But still, I did buy a bunch of them because I knew that I would need a lot of them in the coming weeks to film more videos. So here we go. Lining it. And I honestly just do my very best to go in a straight line across. And then if I really, really want a heavy, like cat eye, then I will pull back like this and then just boom, like that. And that will usually give me a lot more width. And then if like there's an extra bit right there, I just literally boop, just pull it off. Your fingers, again, in a lot of situations can be your best tool. And in this case, when it comes to shaping your eyelashes and your eyelids, that is the case a lot of times. But if it doesn't work as well, then you can also use a Q-tip to do the same thing. And it can actually really make that very tip of your cat eye very strong. So try that and see how you feel. And then I am going to do this just so that they match the best they can. They're sisters, not twins. But we'll do our best. And then with this one, like I said, I always have more trouble with this one than the other one. So I'm just gonna put a little more on this side because my eye just dips right there. And I think that's where we're gonna leave that for now. I might come back to it. Well, no, you know what? One more little bit. Lawrence?
There's excitement for the new potential pet. Although DJK points out, as I have to you, if Kafka is in the room, we may have to resort to spelling out what we're saying. We don't want to give away the surprise.
I have been trying for weeks now to communicate to him that he's going to get a new brother or sister. Every time that we are on the couch, I will be like, I can't wait to meet your new brother or sister. And he just meows at me. He doesn't know what I'm saying. Yeah, it's fine.
He walks off and eats his food. And then Mandy says, "Squee, I can't wait to meet the new family members." So yeah. And Dan asks, this is a callback to some of your earlier videos from this year. How are the strange ice cream recipes coming?
They are not coming well, if I'm honest. Like every time that I try to film one, then I run out of materials and then can't come back to it right away because we've been so much traveling. I was actually just thinking about that this morning. And I am gonna start, so I haven't told you this yet, but Patreon, the Crafty Club, is on hiatus right now. Some of you will know that because some of you are actual Crafty Club members, and for that I am very grateful. So thank you for continuing to be a Crafty Club member despite the hiatus. But right before we went on hiatus, I put out a poll to our Crafty Club senior members for which weird ice cream recipe they wanted to see. And that one is currently in production. So be looking for that in the next couple weeks. And then there are other ones that I really, really want to do, and I may very well start filming them now, but I don't think you're going to see them until next summer, because I think that makes more sense just in terms of the flow of the content on this channel, because I have so many other ideas that I want to do first. But I have looked at all of them, and I think a lot of them look amazing. So I'm really, really excited to get back into actually releasing those to you, because a couple of them are actually already filmed. You didn't know that, though, until just now. So that's a really good question. But yeah, be waiting in the summer next year. It's going to happen. The ice cream maker is ready and rearing to go. So that's where we are with that. I am just putting a little bit. I'm not going crazy on my makeup at all today, guys, because, again, if I have animals up in my grill, then this stuff is going to be moved all around. Plus, it's supposed to be, I think, pretty hot in Chicago today. It's been kind of unseasonably hot the last couple days.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 90 yesterday. Did you know that?
I didn't.
We were inside the whole day, so that's really healthy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so falsies, it's been my favorite since I was like 14. If you have a better one, let me know, but I love it. So I'm going to probably keep using it, even if you let me know a better one. I don't know.
Low 70s today. We're good.
Hey, that's better than yesterday for sure. So there we go. Eyes are as done as they're going to be today. You don't need a lot to look nice, y'all. You just don't. And then I want you to tell me in the comments, which should I use? So if I'm going for a more like early 40s, 50s look, I will usually use this. This is L'Oreal, and it is a color stay lipstick that usually has about 12 hours worth of use if I double it at least. But then I also, for summer, have this Pop Balm that I used in my last video, and it creates a kind of light pink color that is very likened to this lip stain stick that I generally will use with it. They go together pretty well. So which do you think I should use today? Color Stay or Pop Balm? Let me know in the chat box. And in the meantime, I'm going to do a little bit with my hair. So like I said, this is low-key vintage today. I'm just brushing through my hair. I considered curling it last night, but I'm wearing such a kind of boho 70s dress. I'll stand up for a second and kind of show you what this looks like today. It is very boho 70s, very flowy. So I already put the scarf in my hair to go with it, and I'm just going to brush it and then just put some curls in some strategic places. My hair is already so naturally straight anyway that...
Kaleidoscope asks, Pop Balm or Pop Balm?
So it is Pop Balm, but I say balm.
Yeah, there's another example.
Yeah, you love that, don't you?
I do.
So strategic curls, I got my Duvolle straightener back here, and and yes, my hair has already been color treated. I usually brush it, however many times before I go to bed. So that's generally speaking good enough. What else we got going on in the comments today?
Apparently, and you know this channel, right? Tasting History did Parmesan flavored ice cream and said it was good.
Yeah, I saw that. Somebody recommended it to me. So thank you to whoever that was. I can't remember off the top of my head. And it did look really interesting. I mean, obviously, the thing is, and I touch on this in my own video about the cucumber ice cream, that throughout history, ice cream wasn't necessarily just used for desserts. It was more of like an aperitif type thing where, yeah, it's the end of the meal, but it doesn't necessarily need to be sweet, And so that said, as that is the case, then things like Parmesan ice cream would have been, just not too dissimilar from really just like topping off your meal in the French way with a little bit of cheese at the end of it, So it totally makes sense that A, would be good, and B, would be a recipe that would have been used, before now, as a kind of palate cleanser after a meal. What else we got?
So where was it? Oh, your dress, Kaleidoscope loves your dress. I like that dress.
Thank you. This is one of my favorite dresses right now. I got it at Old Navy, which is pretty crazy, right? But I absolutely love it. It's so comfortable and it's very flattering. And I bet, in a couple of washes from now, it's just going to completely fall apart because of the fast fashion thing. So I'm almost embarrassed to say that it's from Old Navy because of that. But that said, that's where it's from. I can't deny that. So it is what it is.
So what do we think then? Pop Balm or the other one?
Colors Stay.
Thank you.
Have we got any more votes for that?
No, we haven't.
Oh no! Tell me which one. Otherwise, my lips will never be done. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube. Where's our poll feature? Even Instagram has that. Come on now. All right. So that's one side, at least the front of it done. I'll do the back later when I'm not on camera with you, so that I can actually see your beautiful comments.
Dr. Emma Peel has a good question. When we travel, who watches Kafka?
That is a great question. So we have pet sitters who come to watch our darling cat when we travel, and they have been doing so since before YouTube was a thing for me, actually. We've lived in Chicago for close to 6 years now, and that entire time, we have had pet sitters who, when I go to visit family or when we go on trips like for YouTube, they come and they give him food and hang out with him and play and send us pictures. And they even, now that we have our little garden on the back deck, they even water our plants for us, and we love them. So they are Chicago Pet Sitters, I believe is the name of the company. Highly recommend them to anybody. And yeah, if you're local, go check them out. They're great.
We have some votes coming in, and DJ K got the ball rolling on that, voting for the Color Stay. But since then, Kaleidoscope and Mandy have voted for Pop Balm.
Well, you still have a little bit of time because I'm definitely taking my time on this this hair. So let's talk about another goal. And the second one was to eat only the recommended amount of sugar daily. I am terrible at this, and I have been terrible at this entire time that I've been on this planet. There are a lot of reasons for that. Some of them are my own fault. A lot of them are because in the 90s, this is a really strange, very niche thing that is specifically geared toward people with congenital heart defects like myself. So not a lot of the population is going to have experienced this, but I did. And that is that pickiness is a huge, huge trait. Pickiness and mental health issues are actually both huge traits that come along with having congenital heart defects. And so in the 90s and in the 80s, when I was born, doctors, pediatricians, would actually recommend that you feed sugar to children with congenital heart defects, because if they were especially picky, at least they were eating something. And that, in hindsight, is probably a terrible piece of advice. And in fact, the American Heart Association acknowledges that. And that's the reason why I know this, because there was like a study done about it and I read the study. But as a result of that, from a very, very young age, I became quite addicted to sugar. And it's only just with obviously like the larger breadth of information that we now have about the ill effects of sugar, as well as my own research as an adult, that I know in hindsight that was the wrong course of action for not just my parents to take, but also for me to have grown up in. I guess I don't know how else to say it. And so as a result of that, it's been kind of a lifelong struggle with me. And I am kind of, I don't know, I've accepted it, but now that I've accepted it, I'm now finally in a situation where it is possible for me to move past that and into a state where I am mostly starting to cook from home, where I just use less sugar anyway, and bake from home, which again, I might use sugar in my recipes, but I'll be honest with you, even when you see what you think is sugar in my recipes on my videos, a lot of times it will be sweetener, and specifically monk fruit sweetener and Truvia, I think is the name of it, which is like good for baking. I will use those a lot because they still taste sweet, but supposedly they're better for you. And in terms of monk fruit sweetener, it's actually healthy because it's just it's sugar that comes directly from monk fruit. So so while you still shouldn't use a bunch of sweetener in general in your food, I'm learning, then I do use sweetener more than I ever have before, and I try to stick to the natural sweeteners because they're a little bit better for you than just straight up sugar. So in terms of the front, I think that's going to be, well, actually there's one more little flyaway that I'd like to get. Let me get this guy right here. And so yeah, that's what I've been doing recently. Am I perfect when it comes to that sugar thing? No, but the other point that I wanted to touch on with that is I recently, here's another very personal and niche thing that has been happening with me recently that you may not know. In fact, no one does except my husband so far. So you're welcome, I guess. But have you seen these? Do you see them? Yeah, you see them? Okay, good. They have been a constant struggle since I was 12, and they are awful, and I do not like them very much. So these, I want them to go away. And I recently went to a plastic surgeon who said that, I'm getting kind of sweaty because it's really hot in here since I have a light on me in addition to the window itself, and there isn't air conditioning that reaches this room. So apologies, I'm going to wick that sweat away. But yes, they're awful, awful things. I do not wish them on anyone. And I went to a plastic surgeon who said that I probably could even get insurance to cover the removal of these, except that because of my sugar habit, I am obese enough that he does not feel comfortably moving on with that procedure yet. So he posited a challenge to me, and that challenge is to get down to 100 pounds less than I am right now, and to basically at my 6-month appointment with my doctor, to show that I have made a major dent in that. So I've actually, for a couple of weeks now, already been on that journey. And I have, I think, already lost an inch off of my waist, which is kind of amazing. I have to actually measure it, but I can just tell that I've lost a little bit of weight. And so I'm going to keep on doing that. And I'm wondering, and you can tell me in the chat box as well, if maybe you're having a similar issue, maybe not with the breast reduction thing, but if you're having a similar issue with just weight management, sugar management, that sort of thing, maybe we need to do a channel-wide challenge. Maybe it even needs to be with things like giveaways, because y'all know I love a good giveaway. I'm just saying. And I haven't had one for over a year at this point, right? The last giveaway I did was over a year ago. So yeah, maybe we need to do some giveaways. We need to have a site-wide challenge for Old Fashioned AF. Might be a good time. Let me know in the chat box if you're feeling that like I am, or down below if you're watching this after the fact. So here we are. I'll do the back kind of the same way that you just saw, just gentle wave curls. And then spray it with some hairspray, and then we'll be good to go on hair today. And in case you're wondering about the scarf, I've had this scarf forever. I have no idea where it came from, but it is an actual scarf. And the way that I do this is I will usually tie the scarf around my head, and then I'll take it off and then pretend like it's a headband and put it back on. And that's how I am able to get it, to lay exactly where I want it to lay. And then I usually will insert 2 bobby pins at the nape of my neck on either side, and then it just stays in the same place all day, which is nice. So lips, where are we at?
So it looks like we did settle on the pop bomb.
All right. So then that means lip liner first. And this is Rimmel, which, by the way, makes the best lip liner I've ever found. And this is Exaggerate is the type of lip balm that I prefer from them because it's a cream lip balm. So you can see, first off, this is very satisfying, I think, if I can just get it to focus. Come on, focus. There we go. Nope. Come on, you can do it. You can do it.
So thin.
There we go. It is. It's very, very thin. Oh, well. Anyway, this. Come on.
It wants to pick up your face. Hide your face for a sec. No, it's not.
No, I give up. Either way, this thing is so amazing that maybe someday I'll get it to focus and you can see it. But anyway, it's a cream balm and then it like just moves up like that. It's amazing. So anyway, I'm gonna do this, and I do have to have my little mirror for this one because it's just too close to me. I can't see it there, but gonna shape the outside first. Specifically the Cupid's bow is always where I start. And I'll probably do a little bit of an exaggerated line today, just because with the pop balm, since it's a balm, then it doesn't show up as readily as Color Stay does. So I want my lips just a little bit bigger than that. And then after I do the Cupid's bow, then I move out to the outer lip on top, just to kind of give myself, you know, like an outline to stay inside. And same with the bottom. There we go. And sides on the bottom as well. All right. And then once I've done that, I do still fill in with the lip liner a little bit, just because my lips are really light naturally. And that's another reason why I really like this specific brand, is that it has a little, like, I don't know, pointy tip on it. So it's really easy to fill in with as opposed to just to shape with. There we go. And then I will always finish up, because you can see it's probably really not very straight in terms of symmetry right now. So I always will like make a kiss face and then fill in wherever it still needs to be more symmetrical. There we go. Like that. And then they are lined. So then the last part, of course, is just to put the balm on. And here it is again, my pop balm. And that I can do without that little mirror. So there we are. Fill it in. And then make sure that it doesn't get on your teeth. Very crucial if you have big in the way teeth like I do. And that should be it, really. Let me just make sure in my little mirror that that is the case. Yeah, there we go. Hey, so then last, in terms of makeup at least, is De-Slick, which I think I told you about in the last video as well. And I love this stuff in the summer because, like I said, I get really sweaty when I'm getting ready in rooms that either have a lot of humidity because of the summer, sorry, and in rooms like this where there just isn't a lot of airflow while I'm filming. But just in general too, when you're outside and you get sweaty, this is good for that too. And it just keeps your makeup in place. It's amazing. I don't know what's in it. It's probably horrible for your skin, but it's so worth it because my makeup doesn't move all day. Tell me some comments while I dry this.
I will. There's been a lot of sort of support for the sugar issue with Muna 1966 saying sugar and carbs are the bane of my existence, and this seems to be reflected by others as well in the comments. And Shannon asks, and I don't know the answer to this myself, when would insurance cover the surgery?
Once I get down to a point where I'm not obese anymore is when it will cover the surgery for me, because these are so heavy and big that right now they technically would, but my surgeon won't operate on me until I am small enough to do so. So I guess the answer is now, but also not. I don't know. It's been like, I got this approved years ago the first time, but the line was still about the same, that we just couldn't do anything until I decided to get my life in order in terms of food intake. So now I am actually quite serious about it, and I have been for a while. And that's that. Yeah, good question.
Thank you to Albert for the donation, who says, Cupid's bow, I never knew that before. Well, that's me learning something new today.
Oh, excuse me. Goodness. Yeah, this is the little part right under your nose is called the Cupid's bow. How adorable is that? And thank you, Albert. Yes. Yeah, so makeup is done. I'm probably going to wear some flower earrings, and I have a little flower ring that goes with them that I absolutely love. They look very 70s, I think. So they're going to go with this today. And beyond that, I think I'm ready in terms of getting ready for the day outside of just the other curls that I have to do later. But I wanted to go ahead and finish out with these goals. So let's just do that really quickly. Before I go any further, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I did mention earlier that not only do sugar issues come along with the heart defect situation, but mental health issues do too. And the thing is, of course, I feel like we have all been collectively hit by a bus in terms of mental health issues this year and last year. And so I am very proud that I am an affiliate for online-therapy.com, who I also do use as my own therapist. And they want to give you 20% off of your first paid subscription. If you go to the link in the description below, then you can take advantage of that. But what's even better is, before I decided to commit to online therapy, I was able to try it for free, and you can do the same thing. So if you go down there into that link, then you can make your profile and you can actually start their free program. And then if you decide that you also want therapy sessions, then you can do the paid program with 20% off to start with. So I highly recommend them. This is not sponsored. I'm just an affiliate. But go down, check it out for yourself if you feel like you're having some mental health things as a result of the pandemic or job loss, or literally just because sometimes you need somebody to talk to, right? Because you have to take care of your own issues. So that's a thing. And I, again, am very proud of the progress that I've made, but also just the fact that they are willing to, have me on as one of their affiliates just makes me so happy that people are able to, sometimes get the help that they need through them. But along those lines, I fell off the YouTube wagon, obviously because of us traveling mostly. But that said, I do want to get back to posting weekly videos. So look forward to that, starting with obviously like this last week. That happened already. And so if you have not hit subscribe, if you have not hit the notification bell, then this is a great time to do so, even if you are already subscribed. I am killing the morning and the evening routine. So that is no longer an issue that I have, because if I'll be honest with you, like if we're talking about therapy here, one of the most important things that my therapist and I have discussed regularly throughout the pandemic is I need something that grounds me at the beginning of the day, and I need something that grounds me at the end of the day. And y'all know that I love products. So my morning routine and my evening routine are pretty much set. They evolve constantly, so it's always changing. And every time that you see a video on here, I'll tell you that something has changed, I'm sure, if I ever do more routine videos in the future. But what I will say is I'm better at doing my morning and my evening routine than ever before. So that is no longer a goal that I need to actually try to do. Now, in terms of 5 fruits and vegetables a day, we both do that very well sometimes, and we both do it very poorly sometimes, right, Lawrence? Can you concur with that? That said, just the other night, Lawrence made probably the best vegetarian curry I have ever had. It was so good. And I would love to share the recipe with you sometime. It is in a book that his mother bought us for your birthday or something many years ago. I don't know, but it was so good that it might be worth it to try that. I don't know, either on the channel or maybe on a TikTok video, something in the future, because oof, chef kiss all the way. So yeah, that's a goal that I'm still working on, is trying to be consistent with 5 fruits and vegetables per day. Exercise routine also fell off that wagon entirely this year. And a lot of that is just because we were moving so much and like having to pack and unpack and get things set up, to the extent that this place here is still not completely set up. So I'm just now starting to get back into that. I had a really intense arms workout just the other day, but my routine is simple enough that I'm just going to share it with you right now. I have a goal to meet 10,000 steps per day. I hit it maybe 70% of the time right now. So I still need to work on that a little bit, because I would really like to get it to that every single day. We have a beautiful neighborhood that we live in. There is no excuse for me not to walk even in the winter. So 10,000 steps per day. Yoga, at least once per week to start with, maybe even once per day when I get to a point where I can actually manage doing once per week. But I've always loved yoga. It's a lifelong love, mostly just because it was for a very long time, until I had a couple of surgeries, literally the only exercise I could do, because I was not allowed or able to do any kind of cardio. That has changed since then. So I wonder if maybe that's something that I'm going to be adding back in the future. But for now, yoga is still my sweet spot, and I still want to do it whenever I possibly can. So at least once per week. And then adding in strength training every other day. And for now, it's just like light when I'm feeling like it. When I like essentially walk through and I'm like, oh, I haven't strength trained yet today, then I'll like do a couple of rounds of exercises for a specific target of my body, whatever I'm feeling. Pretty much every other day is the goal right now. So only just starting to get back into all of that stuff. We'll see how it goes. And then if you have been here for any expense of time, then you also will know that I am very much a Francophile as much as I am an Anglophile, and I love my husband very much. France is also somewhere that I very much appreciate, and that comes back from just my upbringing and my last name, Cantrell, and my own personal lineage. So someday we're gonna make it to Paris, but I'm not too concerned about that right now, because we've been traveling around the US so much that that's kind of where we're concentrating our efforts. So the biggest goal really that has been replaced by going to France at some point is a much more important one, I think. And that is that I want to start giving myself more grace when things don't go my way, because I have a huge tendency to essentially look inside myself and blame myself for anything that goes wrong, whether it's internal or external. And I would like very much for that to leave. So I am trying to give myself more grace when things go wrong. And I feel like rest and empathy are both really big parts of that. So hopefully, as I continue, to share things with you on YouTube and make videos and all of that stuff, then you can understand where I'm coming from, at least on the very basis level, which is giving myself more grace, getting rid of that bad juju, and moving on with things as we progress through this crazy journey that is life. So last thing that I wanted to talk about before we finish this up today is we are on a hiatus with the Crafty Club, but that does not mean that you can't join, because it will be back. In what capacity, I am not sure yet, because I'm only just a little bit into the hiatus so far. It will come back probably in November. In the meantime, if you join right now, you can still see the entire archive. And the archive of the Crafty Club includes at least 17 videos that I know of, at least. I counted off the top of my head this morning when I was getting ready. So I think it's 17 videos, plus a plethora of different blog posts over the last year or so, year and a half, 2 years even, I don't know, that no one else has seen except Crafty Club members. And then when we come back in November, it's going to be stronger than ever before. I just don't know what it is going to look like yet. So be looking forward to that. Check the online-therapy.com link below for 20% off. And Lawrence, give me some comments to finish us off for today.
Yeah, absolutely. So firstly, Lisa says, I would love that recipe that you were referring to earlier that we made. And good luck with your journey, says Kaleidoscope. I think we can all agree with that sentiment. Let's see, plenty of others. DJ K points out, of course, that the last year and a half has thrown many of us off the wagon. And I can concur with that as well.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much to those of you who joined me this morning, and also to those of you who are going to join us later in the next couple of days, because I know this was early for a lot of us. And very much thank you. I am so over the moon for 10,000 subscribers. As someone just said this morning, it's just the beginning. So hopefully you'll stick around. I will see you all very soon, and be staying tuned for another video here on Old Fashioned AF in the future. Mwah! Bye. Have a great weekend, y'all.